It's time to get Red Dirt Proud with your host, JB Cloud.
Welcome into another Red Dirt Proud live video. Well, it's not live. We're recording it live. That counts, Jimmy, doesn't it?
I'm here. We're live.
It's JB, and this is my buddy. I've known him for a long time, Jimmy Ninja, the Ninja Cowboy.
Yeah.
Now, how did the name Ninja Cowboy come out? Because you love music, you play music, but you're in martial arts. Is that kind of how it came out?
Yeah, a little bit. I was Abilene's first professional MMA fighter, and back when that was a big deal, or when it first started, I was just, I grew up fighting here off of North Crockett and the north side, and being an Asian kid, growing up amongst all black and Hispanic kids for the most part. It was a lot of fighting.
Yeah, you had to earn your cred.
I had to do a lot of fighting. Robert E. Lee, I went to Robert E. Lee and Mann and Abilene High, and that turned into a passion a little bit for fighting, or at least a conditioning for it. And then when I got to OU, I trained with some of the best grapplers in the world.
Wait a second. You went to OU. You're a Cowboy.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner.
No, you're a Sooner.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Oklahoma State's the Cowboys. You're a Sooner.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do at OU?
I played the guitar, and I played volleyball, and I skipped class. And
got in trouble.
Yeah, I learned to play the guitar, and I learned that I was pretty introverted, and so sitting in my dorm room at Walker Tower playing the guitar for 4 hours seemed more interesting than going to class. So.
I can see that. I get that. Now you and I are talking. You did other things in Oklahoma. You worked in bars.
Yeah, I worked at the Arbuckle Ballroom in Davis, Oklahoma, on and off for about 4 years, and that's kind of how I got my start in music. David Ball, who owned that place, their band was the house band for that place, and anyone who grew up in cowboy culture understands a ballroom and what that's all about. You yourself bounced, and, man, it kind of fed in. And this was even before I got into fighting professionally, and I liked to scrap when I was a young guy. I was a young guy who liked to do that, and I always sang Keith Whitley's "Don't Close Your Eyes." Keith Whitley, to this day, is my top three of all time. And David would let me get up and sing before the acts that would come through, and I would.
That's cool.
And I've opened up for Tracy Lawrence, Mark Chestnut, Davis Daniels, and this was back in I think I was there like 92 to 96.
Yeah, that was the good old days, man.
It was a great time to learn.
That was great music. 92 to 96 was great.
I think the best. I mean, it's kind of hard because the classics, guys like Don Williams and George Jones. I mean, you can't. It's hard to say that's better than that. But
it's a totally different genre.
That 90s time though was something else. Everybody was in love with country music, and then old Garth Brooks came on to top it off, and he changed. Garth Brooks changed.
Oh, he turned music on its ear. It was impressive.
And being in Oklahoma too, what's funny thing is, I left Abilene thinking, man, I need someplace different. And I went up to Norman, and it was a lot like Texas. To be honest. Whether Texans want to hear that or not, it was a lot like Texas. But I'm out on this ranch, and I'd get up every morning, and I'd do my Patrick Swayze katas and stuff at sunrise. And the other cowboys I worked with, they'd be like, Jimmy, you're a Ninja Cowboy. And that's where the whole it started off. Jim the Ninja Cowboy was the nickname. Jim the Ninja was the first stage name, and that eventually turned into Jimmy Ninja, like Jimi Hendrix. And then when I moved back to Texas 10 years ago, I went back to my name I grew up with, which was Jimmy Ninja.
That's cool. That's awesome. Now, you've got music. Do you have any music out where people can look you up and listen to you?
I believe I have stuff on Spotify, but that's been one of my things.
If they hadn't pulled you off yet.
Yeah, well, YouTube, I've already been. We had off two different channels. I don't even want to talk about that, right?
Yeah.
You know how I feel about that.
I do. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's crazy, the climate we're living in. But, another thing, I've always been a guy that I wanted to say something that mattered. I didn't want to just always sing songs pitch and woo or broke heart whiskey drinking songs. I've written a lot of songs about the political climate. I've written songs pro freedom and patriot. I've written Christmas music. My manager actually managed Jose Feliciano.
Oh, wow.
4 years, who wrote Feliz Navidad, which everyone's probably familiar with. But his biggest credit with him is he did Elvis Presley's 30th year anniversary of his death release of Elvis songs with Jose that they released in Graceland a few years ago. And I'm just really thankful, man. I've had a real blessed career. I haven't gone to the greatest heights, but I've also done a lot more than the average person, and I've tried to share that by a lot of people know me through the Texas Songwriters Championship, which I started 8 years ago. And every year we kind of got a little bigger and a little bigger, and I did it because I wanted to give back to the community I grew up in, where I kind of learned what country was, because I was born in Thailand, in the real country, in the jungle, with no electricity or water. But being a military kid, I came here when I was about my son's age. Bubby, he's like 7, and I learned what it was to be a cowboy.
You know, here's my take on success. I would rather be an artist in a small town or medium-sized town and playing gigs when I wanted to and being happy. I mean, absolutely happy, rather than being a big success and being miserable.
Absolutely.
Because these guys, everybody wants to be the rock star. Everybody wants to be the country star, but they don't realize what it takes, to get there and stay there. Right. And if you look at all those 90 guys, where are they at now? They're not around. Right. I mean, they're you know, you get to Nashville, they own you, and then you're miserable playing these shows, but you're miserable. I'd rather be happy. That's just my personal take.
We see it all the time, and I totally agree with you. I've actually... The first time I went on tour, I got signed by, when I finally did get signed, it was by Epic recording president, Ronald Luxembourg. He owned Infinity Records. He was president of CBS and Epic. He signed Meatloaf, Kansas, Heart, like legends. And this guy was managing me by myself in New York City. And I finally had made it. This was a dream. I was a guy playing in bars for years. I was happy playing in bars. I loved the ladies. I loved drinking beer. I loved playing music. And all of a sudden, my manager met Ismael Garcia, who managed Expose. They were the #1 selling female group in the 80s, and his wife, who was my ex-fiance, we'd all become friends. It was nothing weird. It was just we became friends after the fact. This was in South Florida. I sent her. She knew me as a songwriter because my first love was songwriting, and kind of like you were talking about. You know, I grew up with a lot of insecurities, not only with the Asian thing, but you know, I kind of came up rough, and so I didn't think the most of myself, so I didn't necessarily want to be out on stage. I felt real comfortable back in my dorm room or wherever, writing songs, playing for a few friends. And my ex-fiance was like, hey, I just met this manager. They want a bunch of original music. Wow. You're a writer. And I sent her 10 songs I had already written, and then I wrote 10 more in 2 weeks. Wow. And sent them this demo of 20 songs. My buddy who helped me record it, he owns the #1 kids gym in Denton. And he used to be on the John Davison show. You want to go back? You want to go back?
Good gosh.
But they got that CD, and they were like, we need to meet this guy. So I left my job and my life in Dallas, moved back to South Florida. 4 years later, we had a single on MTV2 called Angel.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Man, we've been talking. Let's hear some music. What are you going to play for me?
I'm going to play you a song that I used for the Outlaws and Legends tryout the other night.
It was good.
I appreciate those guys, too. Mark Powell liked the song a lot. He told me after. I said, man, record it. I'd love to be added to his #1 list. Right. I'll be a Tony Arata any day.
There you go.
This is a song called Girl Like You. This was actually written about a police officer I know. She works out in
Let's move the mic closer to you.
She works out in Clyde. No, not Clyde. Where's Jaguars at?
Ty.
Ty. She works out in Ty. Look, you know where it's
at. I heard it on the radio.
They advertise, too.
You know, in radio, it's a gentleman's place, for those that don't know. And I remember they were trying to cut a commercial for that place one time, and they needed just a couple of seconds to make 60 because we work on time, and you need a 60-second spot, and you got to fill that spot. You can't give them a 54-second spot. It needs to be 60 because a lot of stuff is automated. And they said, JB, what kind of line can we do? And I write songs, too, and I went, put in there you bend over backwards for their customers.
Well, I'm glad to say I've only been in there a handful of times and probably not in the last 5 or 6 years, but God bless every business here in the lean. We all need help staying open these days. So
let her rip. Jimmy Ninja.
This goes out to the ladies out there, Jaguars. Tattoos and strangers and midnight dangers and something that looks like love. Such sweet devotion, I'm swimming in the ocean, surrounded by the wings of a dove. Another bottle of Fireball mixed with that red beer, and I'm good as good gets. Looking for an ace, but I come up with 7, and I ain't making any more bets. So I'm searching for a girl that acts like you. So I'm searching for a world that rings true, that rings true. Just like you. When I first wrote this song, I wrote a girl that looks like you, and then I realized after my last marriage that, and my only marriage, that I think I'd like to have a girl that acts right over one that looks right. Mama Hef's burgers and another round of red beer got me feeling like I'm feeling alright. Got all my hombres and lots of cute muchachas, and I know it's gonna be a good night. Another round of Fireball mixed with that red beer, and I'm good as good gets. Looking for an ace, but I come up with 7, and I ain't making any more bets. So I'm searching for a girl that acts like you. So I'm searching for a world that rings true, that rings true. That line's a lot about the world we've been living in for the past few years, so a little more true would be good. There are days and nights I feel like I could cry. There are days and nights that I could just die. So I'm searching for a girl that acts like you. So I'm searching for a world that rings true. So I'm searching for a girl that acts like you. So I'm searching for a world that rings true, that rings true, just like you.
Wow. Man, good stuff. Jimmy Ninja, the Ninja Cowboy, on Red Dirt Proud. Make sure you look up Red Dirt Proud. I'm trying to find my camera, reddirtproud.com. And then actually, Jimmy, what we're going to do, I'm going to get all your links. And then right below the info and the YouTube video, you can find links to Jimmy's pages. And maybe some music and have some fun with that. Got some shows playing around Abilene, doing anything outside of town?
Man, I've been playing. My dad passed away about 6 months ago. My stepdad who raised me, Walter, and he was a guy out at Dias and met my mom here in Abilene. And after he passed away, I went crazy for a little bit.
Yeah.
The good thing was that I quit drinking whiskey and smoking the green, which I was glad because I needed to. I picked up the whiskey after my divorce 6 years ago, and I was kind of over my divorce a couple of years ago, but I had kept the habit up of drinking 2 bottles of whiskey a week, and I was like, you need to. With my dad, and we'd watch. This is the reason I'd even come back to Abilene. When I first came back, he was in a coma at regional.
Oh, wow.
And so I got over top of him, and I prayed and asked the Lord to bring him back. The next morning he woke up. And so I thought, and I was on my way to Nashville to record my next album. And I was like, you know what, I got to stick around here and see this out because this is going to last a couple months, a couple weeks. 10 years later.
Wow.
He finally went back to meet the Lord, and I was in and Walter was my best friend for a long time. I didn't know my real dad, which is crazy because my real dad contacted me the day after Walter passed away.
No way.
And I'd never met him, and I just went and saw him a couple weeks ago in Cocoa Beach. So the last 6 months for me has been pretty crazy, but I decided I was going to quit drinking whiskey because I just wasn't serving me any longer.
Yeah.
And if anything, it was hurting the things that I did care about, like teaching martial arts and my relationship with a lot of people, and my music, most definitely. I've noticed that I started playing a lot because playing's what really, it's always made me feel better. And so I started playing.
I mean, if you're like talking on the radio or you're playing, you're in the groove, you're in your show, and the outside world doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a healing place. And I played I didn't notice, but I looked at my Google. I love the internet, so a lot of people bash on it, but man, I tell you, the gift it gives you is just amazing. But it showed me all the spots I played since he passed last year, which was about 6 months, and I played 57 shows all over the country, from Fort Lauderdale to Weatherford to the Stockyards to just everywhere. Here in Abilene a few times, but we just did the Outlaws tryout, and congratulations to my friend Shane Carley, who's a finalist.
Shane Terrell, yeah.
Shane Terrell, and
Jackson Hatch
he won last
night.
Right? So it'll be a good finale, and that's February 19th, right?
The 17th is the round 3.
Okay.
And then the 19th will be the finals with Shane, Jackson, and whoever wins next week.
Right. So you guys make sure you get out and see that. But my next local show, and it'll be probably my last show for the quarter, is actually going to be down in Soda District at KAO.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they call it Cow or not, but I've been calling it Cow.
Yeah.
My buddy Tim Smith, him and I grew up together. We were on the same gymnastics team. He was actually one of my heroes.
Wow.
He was a senior when I was a freshman, but this guy was such a stud athlete, a multi-state champion in gymnastics.
Wow.
I was too. Tim was better than me, though, I admit that. And what he's done here in Abilene, I'm super proud of him, and it's my first show at his place on March 2nd.
Well, y'all look up Jimmy Ninja, the Ninja Cowboy, and go see him when you can. Let's do another song.
I was going to play that song I wrote for Amelia, but I think I'm going to play another song I wrote for a girl named AJ. And I want to thank all the ladies who inspired my music, because I think without them, I probably would have written 5 songs instead of 5.
I think without women, we would be lacking a lot of country songs.
Hey, man,
we wouldn't need the whiskey, and we wouldn't need the pickups or the
Lord.
cheating, and I would make a terrible
I'm certain the
person.
Lord made it like that for a reason. 'Cause
Yeah.
what else would be doing it? Hunting? I mean, what's funny is I'm not really a skirt chaser anymore. I have 2 beautiful boys, and I spend a lot of time with raising them. I'm working on bringing wrestling to Abilene.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So for 2 years, my son's been wrestling in the regional markets that have it, like Lubbock being one, and he loves it. It's fun, and it's safer than us doing jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, so... and I think the big country in Abilene specifically would really benefit, because it brings people, it brings hotel rooms, it brings business. So something I've actually been working on 4 years. But here's a song I wrote for a beautiful young lady named AJ called The Ocean. And this song kind of, I wore my Bellamy Brothers shirt today because my second home is Fort Lauderdale Beach.
They're good people.
You told me why I didn't believe. Now the excuses, they fall down like winter leaves. But I got my dream. This is my life. Carry a gun, sharpen your knife for those quick kills, for those sweet thrills. Thinking about her gives me the feels, 'cause what's wrong with her is what's wrong with me. We're all conditioned to act like that, can't you see? And I don't know if I can be your ocean. You're walking up with your suntan lotion, saying, baby, get my back up really quick. I get excited 'cause I get to touch you, 'cause I'm the one who wants you to buy you things, take you everywhere. We don't know how deal with the past. We spend most every day emotionally kicking our ass, but I still have hope and a dream worth fighting for. The more I focus on my kids, the more it unlocks the door. And I don't know if I can be your ocean. You're walking up with your suntan lotion, saying, baby, get my back up really quick. I get excited 'cause I get to touch you, you know, 'cause I'm the one who wants you to buy you things, take you everywhere. And I don't know if I can be your ocean. You're walking up with your suntan lotion, saying, baby, get my back up really quick. I get excited 'cause I get to touch you, you know, 'cause I'm the one who wants you to buy you things, take you everywhere. Girl, I'm gonna buy you things and take you everywhere. I'm gonna buy you things and wait for you to finish your nails and hair.
And the crowd goes wild. Jimmy Ninja, the Ninja Cowboy, stopping by Red Dirt Proud.
Thank you, JB.
Man, thank you, guys. It's so neat to see you. I saw you live for the first time. I've known you and been around and heard you, and people love you in this town. And thank you for coming by to pick a tune for us. I appreciate you. Y'all check him out in the stuff below, and stay Red Dirt Proud.